Retail investors appear to be coming in to buy the Tesla dip, shares up over 10%. The company looking to snap that 9-week losing streak. This comes after Elon Musk told investors to stick around.
So it's very difficult for people in the stock market, especially those that look in the rearview mirror, which is most people, to imagine a future where suddenly a 10 million vehicle fleet has 5 to 10 times the usefulness. So what I'm saying is hang on to your stock.
Here with more, we've got Kristin Hull, Nia Impact Capital founder and chief investment officer of an asset management firm that focuses on activist investing. Just some context for our audience. And Kristin, we're excited to speak with you because you are a Tesla activist investor. You told us that you sold most of your stock back in 2022, but you've kept some shares in your activist portfolio to keep engaging with the company. Why keep those shares and give Elon what he said he wanted there?
Hello, good morning, and nice to see you. So we held our shares because of the amount of Tesla employees that we've spoken to over the years that have shared issues of discrimination. And we want to see change at the company, particularly for shareholders as well as for employees. So we've asked for the removal of forced arbitration, which is a concealment clause that covers up any incidents for employees. And we've also asked for stronger oversight from the board on human capital management.
And Kristin, what has the impact of that been? Were you able to get any of those things that you just laid out that you asked for?
Yeah, actually, just this year, the board has agreed, and it came out in their 1099, about being able to and willing to oversee human capital management, particularly issues when it comes to what we call strong human capital management, or DEI, hiring, looking to basically have the very top talent and to be able to retain that at Tesla.
Kristin, let's take that a step further and talk about, though, the composition of the board. You know, when I take a look at who's on there, you've got Elon Musk, founder and CEO himself. You've got his brother. The chair of the board is the former CFO, so a former employee of the company, and includes some Silicon Valley stalwarts. The question is, will any of these board members be willing to stand up to or defy the man with the Midas touch at the end of the day? Even if they are taking on HR oversight, would you expect them to act?
Well, so that's actually a really good question, and that's one of the main reasons we don't hold Tesla in client portfolios, is because we expect all of our companies to have CEOs that report to the board, and clearly that's not happening at this company. So there are some significant risks in governance.
And Kristin, just taking that another step further, when you think about where Tesla can go from here, what are your thoughts more broadly on whether the kinds of considerations that you've raised are going to take hold more broadly across the shareholder base? It feels like retail investors are backing Tesla as it stands right now.
Yeah, it's a really good question because Tesla does hold the promise of really disrupting the entire automobile industry. We can't argue that they have not already done that. However, we are looking to see the innovation that they've promised come to fruition. There is some talk of rolling out fully automatic driving in China. However, China already has competitors that have lower price points. There's also talk of rolling out additional automobile types in Europe. However, Europe has all sorts of protests going on. That was a main driver for automobiles, and the brand has been damaged, both in California, strong place to buy and sell Teslas, but however, the amount of retail Teslas that have been resold in the last month is at a peak. So the brand really has been tarnished, and can they come back from that? That's what I think we all really need to see.
Do you think they can come back from that, Kristin?
It's a good question. It's very similar to tariffs in that the Canadians are switching now to not buy American products. When the tariffs come, when they go, when they come back, they will already have shifted their buying and their consumer preferences. I believe similarly, particularly for the US, where cars are almost an extension of our personality, we really get serious about our cars and our choice there. And it's almost like our personal branding. So it's going to be really difficult, I believe, particularly in the US, for Elon to come back. Now, whether they shift and start start grabbing market share from some of the Doge supporters, that could be a really interesting play for investors, though we're not anticipating that at this time.
Kristin, I want to zoom out here because I am flooded with questions on social media these days from people who want to know whether if they do have an activist investor slant, should they even be invested in U.S. stocks? Where can they be looking for opportunities, especially as so many companies are pushing back on DEI initiatives in particular? What is your message to those investors who are looking for ways to put their money to work that match their values as well?
Yeah, well, it's a really good question there. And what we see is that we actually really like the word efficiency, which is interesting because it's being used very broadly for different terms. But we want to see strong human capital management programs in place because we see that to be the most efficient. We want companies to be able to attract, hire, retain, promote top talent. And particularly when we're looking at the AI and tech sector where innovation is really driving a lot of the stock price, we want to see the top talent to be able to do that. So pulling back on any investments in talent, in employees, in human capital management we would consider to be not efficient. Whereas tech seems to be moving now to this moment of do more with less. We want to see actual investments. We want to see companies that are putting employees on the asset side of the balance sheet and not on the expense side. So that's where we're looking to see more investment.
Really great overview, Kristin, with Nia Capital. Thank you so much for joining us today. Appreciate it.
Thank you.